What's good, guys? Thank you for joining us once again right here in the Good Shit Podcast, episode 5 right now. I'm Oscar Cifuentes.
DJ DSPS Sutherland.
Archivos Xenofondos.
I'm Noah Griffith.
Anthony Ferrara.
And, guys, we have a pretty stacked episode for you this week. You know, not too much, mainstream news, but some little bits that, we thought it's worth mentioning. So I'm going to dive right into it. So the most talked about topic right now is all these NXT call-ups right now. So I don't know if you guys have heard. So the names that have been mentioned so far has been Matt Riddle, Dominic Dijakovic. There's rumors of Chelsea Green being called up, and this is not immediate, but it may happen in the near future. Adam Cole may be called up to the main roster. What do you guys think?
I heard in about 6 months.
In like 6 months, but I know. But from sources I've been reading from Meltzer and Alvarez to JD himself, they were saying that obviously he's being moved to SmackDown if you didn't catch last week's vignette of Matt Riddle, and which initially you would say, oh, why isn't he getting moved to Raw? They could use him over there, and
then
obviously what was you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I know you were gonna lead up to it. It's because of Brock Lesnar. That's why.
Yeah, that would be the initial reaction to it, but apparently because Heyman is a fan of Matt Riddle, he wanted him, but I guess they need some star power over on SmackDown. And WrestleVotes actually tweeted this. They said that those in power have very, and they put this in air quotes, high hopes for Matt Riddle on SmackDown. I'm like, really? Really?
That's like all the other NXT call-ups.
Yeah. In another world.
No. But they put the quotes on high of all words.
In any other year, it would be phenomenal, but it's 2020 and NXT is actually the promotion and being on the main roster is the demotion. So I'll gladly have Undisputed Era for another 5 years for 600, Alex, please. Thank you.
So
here's a real question. Is Vince going to make Matt wear boots in the main roster?
Oh, he definitely is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
When's the last time somebody been barefoot?
Rusev.
Yeah.
And they might rip off
put on boots.
Yeah, they made Rusev put on boots. Who's to say they won't do it to Matt Riddle?
They might rip off Jungle Boy and probably put like leaves on him or something.
Leaves?
Matt Riddle? Well, they kind of probably look at him as a barbarian.
I get where he's going with that.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
I know. I got what he's saying. Put leaves on Matt Riddle's feet?
It's not a bad thing, right? I'm just saying, listen, he's barefoot and he wrestles,
No.
Pretty high over your head.
Make him a barbarian.
So are you trying to portray him as Tarzan?
No, not Tarzan. Rob Van Dam.
It's very high over your head right now.
I think it would be Tarzan.
The excuse picked up on it.
Did you finally get it? You finally got it?
I think the other two are confused.
I'm not sure, but we can talk about this later.
Oh, God, we're uncensored. Matt Riddle's a major pothead.
In the words of Stephen A. Smith, stay off the weed.
Yeah, I don't know why I was beating around the bush with this. Matt Riddle's a giant.
See what you did with that one, too.
I didn't even mean for that one, but yeah. That's why Dana White was sick of his shit because he failed drug tests for weed, and now he's getting called up to the main roster, which I guess they have no issue with.
Oh well.
So props to WWE on that one. They look the other way.
Does Noah have taken it? I think I overrode him with the feedback. I'm sorry.
No, you didn't.
Don't fucking laugh, Farskivas. That's not funny. I saw that.
Nah, I think he's just coming to him that Matt Riddle is a major pothead. So.
Yeah,
I was like, I didn't really think that, but then again, his West Coast style, bro.
I got that the minute he said bro. Like, come on. If you don't hear that and automatically assume that, you're fucking stupid.
Hey man, we're not all part of the culture.
In another life,
thank you.
Matt Riddle would be a Chad.
Sure, Let's say that. But anyway, according to sources from JD, he said that this call-up was done as well as Adam Cole's, was because their contracts with WWE are coming up. So they're soon going to be expired, and these call-ups were basically done for the money, keep them happy, and to make sure they don't go anywhere else, because we all know what that means.
Well, we know where Adam Cole would be going, so they really have to find a way to keep him. And Matt Riddle, I feel like, would just go wherever whoever accepts him, because people are going to be knocking on his door.
You also can't take the money and throw it at them and then do nothing with them, because you've been doing that, and look what happened with 35 other superstars on Black Wednesday. You literally have to keep them and have to use them. So it actually would be foolish for you to do either one. So keep them and put them in the best storylines that you have. It's plain and simple.
I think Cole's got to have the Undisputed Era at least start with him now.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if Cole gets called up by himself, what are you going to do with the rest of the guys?
Exactly.
All right,
AB Roderick strong.
Use this perspective. Do you guys think if Cole were to get called up in the next 6 months, SmackDown or Raw?
Go to Raw.
Raw.
Probably Raw.
He's gonna go Raw.
They need that. SmackDown, they got enough of that.
JD was saying that SmackDown does need some star power over there, so it's kind of up in the air right now. But Cole,
I feel like Vince would like Cole more on Raw.
Probably.
But SmackDown,
like I was gonna say, if Roman Reigns comes back by August and faces Braun Strowman for the title, don't you think that if Cole was to face Roman Reigns for the title, Vince would have Reigns beat Cole?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, it depends.
It would be stupid, but I kind of feel like that would be the case.
Stupid from us, not for him. That's the difference.
Very true.
Oh, well.
But honestly, the name that kind of shocked me was Chelsea Green, because she hasn't had too much.
She hasn't done anything on NXT
yet. Say she really hasn't done anything on NXT, and she
had a match with Charlotte.
Yeah, that's it, and that's probably why.
E&M, Candice LeRae, Bianca Belair. I mean,
no, keep Candice down there.
There's
up there. I just keep Candice in NXT.
You know, it's crazy you mentioned Bianca Belair. She's on Raw with Montez, but they haven't used her in like 3 weeks.
I don't know. Is she on Raw? We haven't seen her in like 3 months.
It's sad that she's on Raw now.
Yeah, that would still count as the demotion. So it's like
because Bianca demotion, so she ain't being used.
Bianca hasn't been on TV in like weeks now.
It's been like 3 months.
But apparently she's been on like Superstars and Main Event, but
no one
really
watches
Superstars.
That.
The last time I remember we saw Bianca wasn't it when her confrontation against Charlotte and Rhea Ripley? Wasn't that the last time we actually seen her on TV?
No, that was
NXT.
Yeah,
she got called up to the main roster.
Yeah. Exactly. That was. It feels like months ago.
Yeah.
Up to Raw the day after Mania, and I think she was feuding with Vega for a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it was supposed to be Andrade and that other 2 guys that I don't really know, but
Humberto Carrillo and I think I forgot his name.
Garza and
Theory.
And Theory, the 2 guys I don't really pay attention to. But anyway,
this is how bad it is with WWE, where we don't even remember the names.
Exactly.
But see, that's the thing. From 2015 to now, we saw a lot of prime NXT superstars battle their hearts out in NXT pay-per-views, NXT shows, etc. And then when they get the call up to the main roster, it's like, who are these people? Example, Nakamura, Sami Zayn, Finn Balor. They gave him the title, right? He broke his collarbone, and he hasn't got one title opportunity in 3 years. And it was Roman Reigns that offered him the title rematch.
Yeah, literally.
Sami Zayn.
Kairi Sane and Asuka, I mean, maybe you can argue Asuka's done something, but she's not the same Asuka that had a 900-day streak.
Nia Jax got a lot of heat for what she did to Kairi Sane on Monday Night.
Yeah. That's kind of a thing now that's kind of led to the banning of the buckle bomb as part of our next topic. So they banned the buckle bomb after Nia Jax had delivered to Kairi Sane, and her head hit the middle turnbuckle a bit off awkwardly, and that kind of drew some backlash because, it kind of, and what's it called? And again, when she threw her into the ring steps and opened her up like on her head, you could see it on her Twitter. Apparently, Kylie was taking the fall for it, saying she made it look too good. But according to Brian Alvarez, he got a text from somebody in WWE. As for the buckle bomb, she said it was 1,000% Nia's fault. She needs to be fucking fired. She is dangerous. Fire her before she cripples or kills somebody.
If Ryback's going to get shit for being a bad wrestler, I don't see why Nia should either. But at the same time, don't fucking ban the move because that's not the problem. Get her to wrestle more and practice more in developmental.
And plus,
you
she
gotta
was
look at
for like a year with 2 ACL injuries.
Yeah.
So why are you pushing her into the main event scene for the Raw Women's Championship? Granted, she just came back.
She's Samoan.
Well, yeah. And I know she's a former Raw Women's Champion, but like still, like ease her into it. That spot should have gone to somebody else, in my opinion. No disrespect.
No, there's no such thing as easing her into it.
I'm just not surprised that with all that going on, you ban it because Nia does it bad. I'm actually surprised nobody came out and was screaming anti-feminism, to be honest.
But here's the thing, though. They're banning it now, but you look back on it, the move basically led to Sting's retirement in WWE back in 2015. And then what's it called? It injured Finn Balor at SummerSlam the very next year, both done by Seth Rollins, mind you. And why didn't it get banned then?
I'm waiting for the moonsault to be banned because Charlotte can never hit it for her life.
Yeah, but
if you really look at it,
Io Shirai, who can actually do a moonsault.
And the Young Bucks.
Don't they have a history of banning moves from Seth Rollins? And they banned the curb stomp for like at least 3 years, and then they brought him back when they wanted to give him his reign back?
Yeah.
That's very true.
His finisher was the pedigree for those 3 years.
And I'm not going to lie, that was a terrible pedigree.
Oh, absolutely.
Or either it was that or the knee to the face. Because I remember I was playing WWE 2K18 or 19, and every time I tried doing the curb stomp, it was just basically a knee to the face, and that was about it.
Yes.
Revolution knee, yeah.
They never gave it a name either. So Rollins has just been horribly gifted with finishers that just either don't work or he's not good at. I think if anything, the Falcon Arrow should really be a good finish for him, but they don't. They use it as a signature.
Yeah, the superplex, that Falcon Arrow at the top, that's a finisher.
Just like how Sting Blue Thunder Bomb, that should be his finisher instead it's a signature.
Yeah, because it looks pretty and he knows how to do it, and it looks impactful. Yeah, like Noah said.
Yeah, as you say, plus I guess in Sami Zayn's case, they're trying to emphasize how the haluva kick is his finisher.
That's a signature, if that. It's a big boot in the corner.
You can't tell me that a kick to the face has more power over a fucking twirling
power bomb.
Yeah, spinning power bomb.
Yeah.
I think in terms of the buckle bomb, is it a dangerous move? Yeah, it probably should have been banned a while ago, but banning it because Nia Jax got backlash when she has a history of injuring people.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
I was going to say
Survivor Series.
Yeah, and even Alvarez was just saying, don't fire her, just send her back to developmental and have her restart her training. Start her from scratch if that's going to be the case.
And then if she don't want to do it, then you fire her ass. Well, I'm not doing it. Okay, you're fired. Go somewhere else.
Well, regardless, the move now joins chair shots to the head and the pile driver as also banned moves, which is
no, it's not because Undertaker still does a pile driver. That is not banned.
I was gonna say, let me finish the pile driver, which is kind of ironic because Undertaker uses it. They've been doing Canadian destroyers frequently on AEW.
Also a pile driver.
Yeah, basically a flipping pile driver.
They do it in NXT as well. Adam Cole does it, and Johnny Gargano.
Oh yeah, the Panama Sunrise, which is
that's
a flip pile driver.
Their reflexes are just delayed. If you're gonna do it, teach somebody how to do it right, and then we'll have no problems. But unfortunately, we're just gonna ban it. Why? You're too lazy to teach people how to wrestle good?
Well, this is also the same company that banned the word wrestling. Well,
I thought we were sports entertainment.
Yeah, it was wrestling entertainment, and it banned the word wrestling.
Oh, my grandmother and my aunt, please God.
Oh my God. All right, before we move on to the next topic, I want to bring up something that I thought was pretty interesting. So I saw a clip on YouTube for Impact's Slammiversary that showed a hooded person pouring a drink and watching kind of a scripted news broadcast talking about, wrestlers being released from their contracts, a.k.a. Black Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So as the clip rolls on, we see clips that Impact's had from former wrestlers that have also been released by WWE. These include from Eric Young, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, Drake Maverick, Kurt Hawkins, Mike and Maria Kanellis, EC3, But another clip that was shown was a clip of the Bulgarian flag. So, what could that possibly mean?
It's Rusev Day and Impact.
Could it?
No,
Could it?
no, it's Miro Day.
Miro Day, yeah. He ain't going by Rusev no more. It's Miro something. I can't remember it exactly.
I think Miroslav.
That sounds about right.
I'm just surprised that Impact, whatever they are today. I'm just surprised that they have the money to hire all of them.
Well,
we don't
plus,
well, they probably don't.
Plus, again, according to Alvarez on the Wrestling Observer, that he has seen some of the contracts and the offers that they're giving them, and he was saying that they're only a fraction of what they were making before this whole thing happened. So either you take a fraction of what you made before, or you take what Impact can give you. Which would you rather do?
Doesn't Impact have problems paying their own people that they currently have?
I don't think so. We haven't heard too many problems from Impact.
No, we know that Paul Heyman's got a history about that, as far as I'm concerned. But in entirety, that's not really necessarily his fault. It's because the network didn't want to really cover for it. But also, too, kind of was his fault because he was lying and he really didn't help it out. But no, I don't think Impact has a problem paying though. But I'm sure there are histories of that, even way back in the days.
I was gonna say, I remember when Impact had issues, that they couldn't even get one of their funders to stay, and he was a member of some rock band. It was
what's his name? Corrigan, Billy Corrigan from Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah, that guy. So I'm like, if you can't even keep a rock star to fund your own wrestling promotion, you're fucking up somewhere.
And that is why they held on to the copyright song from Matt Hardy, because that was the only thing that they had that would give them money, especially in merchandise, if they were merchandise.
Oh yeah, that whole lawsuit with the broken gimmick, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which they could easily just get money from being bought out. But no, we're gonna keep it because it's ours.
No, that's Matt Hardy's, fuckers. Calm down.
It's his creative idea.
Yeah.
Remember when Matt Hardy went back to WWE? He had one big pop, and then that was it.
That was about
WrestleMania.
That was one big pop, and I don't know.
No,
I don't
that
remember,
was one of the
about
greatest.
Noah, but I remember all four of us jumping out of our seats and hugging each other when that happened.
We did.
No, I don't know.
Steve caught me. I felt like I was in the Titanic.
What are you saying, Noah?
No, I was saying I was jumping up for joy. I remember that moment like it was yesterday.
All right, all five of us, just four of us happen to be in the same room.
Exactly. But I was excited. I was like, oh shit, yes, finally.
And they brought the old music. They brought the Hardy Boys music too. Oh man,
yes.
what a moment!
I was like, finally something good at this godforsaken WrestleMania.
But
all right.
So here's something that I feel like you guys will get a good laugh at. So Abraham Reisman, I don't know if you guys have heard of him. I doubt it. He's a writer for New York Magazine, The Wall Street Journal, and Vice. Announced on Twitter that he wants to do a biography on Vince McMahon.
Oh, God.
And in his tweet, here's the kicker. He calls McMahon the Emperor of Professional Wrestling.
Not anymore. Maybe
I don't know why, but every
ago.
time I read that, I just snicker.
Maybe 20 years ago.
Have anything to do with Dark Side of the Ring.
What was that?
Considering this is a biography, that's probably going to be in the most positive light possible. So,
no, I'm saying, since he's from Vice, though, does he have anything to do with the guys that make Dark Side of the Ring?
I don't know. That's actually a good question. I should have done more research on this.
Because when you said that before, I thought you said Abraham Lincoln. I was going to say, oh God.
No, Abraham Reisman.
Back from the dead.
Riesman. Yeah.
Riesman. Reisman, yeah, basically.
Oh, we could probably use Abraham Lincoln right now.
Not that I know of. No, he doesn't have any affiliation right now.
So yeah,
this is going to be the most positive documentary of all time.
I was gonna say he's probably written for the Vice News, so he probably has nothing to do with Vice TV or Dark Side of the Ring. So he probably doesn't know the ins and outs of Vince McMahon's shady past. In his, wrestling
I'm looking
business.
at his history. He really don't have anything in regards to wrestling. As a matter of fact,
kind of a shady present right now.
If Vince McMahon had an autobiography written about him, these would be the first two lines. I'm Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Subscribe to the WWE Network, which is now $59.99.
Oh, yeah, he would because it's his book. Autobiography means it's written by him.
I'm Vince McMahon, and this is good shit.
Oh boy, I don't know.
That's just... shit.
I love how Anthony talks. He's like,
Let's not judge the man for how he eats his pizza or whatever the hell it is.
He just wants that pizza to wake him up before he goes.
I hope tomorrow I get woken up by a gyro.
Hey, that was a very aggressive slice there you just took, bro.
Thank you.
Okay, well, anyway, so the Vince McMahon biography is set for a 2022 release, but we'll see how that goes. So, moving on to the next topic, something caught my eye when it came to AEW. I don't know if you guys have heard that Darby Allin was on their latest episode of AEW Unrestricted with Tony Schiavone and Darby and Aubrey Edwards. But they did a nice, a 45-minute interview talking about how he was a skateboarder all his life. Fun fact, he's actually a film school dropout. So which kind of explains why his vignettes are so good since he films them all on his own.
Word up to that.
Yeah. As far as his skateboarding career goes, Tony Hawk actually bought a clip for him back in 2011, and he actually tweeted the video of Darby when he did that ollie off Joey Janela's back at All Out. That's something I thought that was cool. Straight edge guy, doesn't even take aspirin, which I'm like, holy crap! So he
does. He needs some aspirin.
Yeah, he doesn't even take aspirin. So and all the bumps he takes.
He needs some aspirin for that ladder spot he did at Double or Nothing.
That's probably crazy.
Wow, he really is a natural remedy type of guy, huh?
Oh yeah, literally this is a quote for him. He says, "If I fail, I can't blame it on the drugs and alcohol. It'll be 100% my fault." That's pretty
strong words. Though.
That's strong.
I respect it.
That's kind of like a not that this has to do anything with what happened to him in the end, but Chris Benoit was very much like that because he was the type of guy that if he felt he did something wrong, he would go in the locker room and himself. This is a story that Chris Jericho told us that they had a match and Benoit thought it was horrible that he messed up a spot and Jericho's like, I don't think anybody even noticed. So he went in the corner. He goes, I got to punish myself. And he did 500 squats.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was in New Japan before they got.
Yeah, it was on Dark Side of the Ring. Yeah, they said he fucked up a spot in a match that even when you saw the clip, you couldn't really tell. But I guess Benoit.
I completely get that because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist myself, and if you know that you mess up on something that you really shouldn't have, you get upset. So I completely get it.
Yeah, well, luckily Darby's not that crazy, but this is probably something that caught my eye or caught my attention. He was saying on the podcast that he lived in a car for 3 years by choice. Literally, he had a mattress in the back. He took a George Foreman grill into this gym that he used to go and train, and he would cook his meals in the bathroom and all that.
Gotta love a good George Foreman grill, baby. Oil drip out, and you put something right underneath to let it seep in, but that shit tastes amazing once it's done.
Oh boy, and his idea was that if he can't afford to live in a place where he has to pay if he can't afford to pay rent, he shouldn't be freeloading or anything. He'd rather live in his car than mooch off people, which is something I gotta respect out of Darby Allin. But this is what caught my attention the most. He turned down a WWE tryout, this is coming from a guy who has wrestled for Evolve, which works very, very close with WWE. It's basically WWE's new OVW Evolve. Right? We can all agree on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So his thoughts on that, because he said that, management sent him a message, offering him a tryout, and he said in the most respectful way possible, he's just said, you either want me or you don't. And he was saying that, it's not like they haven't seen his body of work. And he was wrestling, some NXT guys. He wrestled Cassius Ohno, Velveteen Dream, Mustafa Ali, Roderick Strong, and even Austin Theory. Like, he's worked with all of them when he was in Evolve. And, he basically just flat out says, like, you either want me or you don't. I'm not going to be I'm not going to pull that dog and pony crap. I'm not going to try out.
So this is interesting because I think we have heard about this before, but we never heard it in theory, in full. First off, much respect to him because he's very humble and he's very humane when it comes to this. We know a lot of times you hear situations where people end up mooching even though they don't think about it. But there's something about him that's kind of like, oh, I need to earn this. Oh, I need to be handed to this if I deserve it the most. This kind of goes in theory with CM Punk's mindset when he left the company back in 2014, and his words with Triple H and Vince McMahon before he walked out in that meeting, he said, if you don't think I'm a draw, that's fine, but then you need to fucking fire me because I'm either world champion or I'm not here at all, which is a mindset that you have to respect. So when he's walking in there and he's saying, either you want me or you don't, it's either you want me and you don't give me a tryout and you let me walk in there and do what you think I do best, or you don't have me because you don't think I'm worth it. So
it's like, I wouldn't even say humble. It's like he knows his worth. Is basically what it is with Darby and even Punk.
But you could still be humble though, because somewhere on the line between working at Evolve to getting that contract offer, he has to have had some insight. Listen, he's got to be trained by somebody that knows how that business goes, right? He had to be trained by somebody to tell him what it's like and show him the ropes, what's inside. Because clearly now we've seen from Black Wednesday, it's really more about money than it is the art in that business, in that fucking company, as opposed to AEW. Money don't mean shit as long as you get your creative control.
And that's something that he discussed in depth with Cody when, he would run into him at the Northeast wrestling shows where, Cody saw a match with him in Pentagon. Mm-hmm. And, he basically flat out said to Cody that, like, I don't want to be like some cruiserweight guy or some guy in the locker room that, that nobody pays attention to, or where his promos or his body of work wouldn't even see the light of day. Like, that's something you got to respect out of Darby, because not only does he know his worth, but he knows what he wants out of his career.
And look at a guy like Taz that he's working with right now. Did my voice just change? Oh, my God. What's wrong with my voice? Hold on.
Take a sip of your beverage, man. Take a sip of your beverage.
I have to sound like this for a second. There's
What's in that pizza, bro?
Crack. No, I'm kidding. There's something interesting right now with Darby Allin, because right now, if you notice, if he is, or if we're just going to hold on to what he was doing with Taz, Taz was the one who helped Brock Lesnar when he got first started, because Brock Lesnar was going to be told by Michael Hayes and Vince McMahon that we got to have them as this type of Russian guy, that we got to have him as a Russian destroyer, and they're going to do everything, and he's done. And Taz looked at him with Paul Heyman and said, no. You're not going to be that. You're going to walk in there and you're going to be the next best thing, which was his tagline in his first run. Next big thing. I'm sorry. Which was his tagline in his first run. And him and Paul Heyman went with Brock and said, this is the next big thing. That's what it is, or it's nothing. And Vince is like, oh, I like that. Oh, my pants are getting bigger. And then the rest is history. So.
Did you really need to do that last bit? Is that necessary?
Did you say my pants is getting bigger?
Yes, you did.
Remind people why Roman Reigns is in the spot that he's in the first place. Okay. Just saying.
So he was gaining weight as he saw Brock Lesnar.
Sure, let's say that.
We can put it that way.
I know we're an uncensored podcast. You probably can censor that.
The genetic jackhammer.
Nah, I'm not gonna censor that shit. Nope.
All right, let's move
unless YouTube shuts us down, I'm not censoring shit.
Or Zoom. But hey, listen, I'm glad Darby went the route that he thought was best for him, and that's all we want. We want somebody that's going to be best for business. And
absolutely. Again, talking with Cody after he saw his match with Pentagon, talking about his goals, and he emphasizes on the fact of how much he basically idolizes, Dean Malenko, who's a head coach over there in AEW, right? He listens to Dean. He goes back and forth with like ideas and what he wants to do in the ring. Like Dean will set up like Dean will like set up the match, and like Darby will just throw in bits and pieces of what he wants to do. And I guess him and Dean just click on all that shit, which is something you got to respect, because not only are you listening to a guy like Dean Malenko, who is basically a freaking legend in the business, but also letting him listen to your ideas and compromising with what you want to do, and making the match even better.
I think it's important to realize that you got a lot of guys that are in here, and don't you notice something, that most of these guys have wrestled in Japan before, and when they're over in Japan, this is kind of like the Japanese, it's kind of like the American version of New Japan Pro Wrestling, where they're just so creative and there's so much to offer in the ring, but they've become versatile with their move set and their promos and everything that they do. That's why I think if you're going to be a really good wrestler, you have to either spend a good portion of your time in Japan, or you have to hit every single promotion that you can wherever you're around. So if you're in Europe, go wherever you can in the UK. And if you're in North America, go everywhere from Canada to United States to fucking Mexico and all around. Because you need that versatility just to make you great.
And I was going to say, yeah, like basically hone your craft in every promotion you go to.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where you really grow as a performer, and you grow as a competitor, and even become a better wrestler at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
I could say that somebody that travels, if you like stick your hand in different parts of the different regions, you gain invaluable experience that you can take from really anywhere you've been to, whether that be from, if you work in Europe, you can take from UK, Spain, Germany. I know wrestling is big in. Wherever here, you can go East Coast, Midwest, South, West Coast, Canada, Mexico. Like, you can take it anywhere with you. And all those valuable experiences that you learn, and all of them are different experiences that you get from all those different places. And after you put those all together, you become a much more complete person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I guess you would know. You've gone with me.
Skeeves, Noah, you got anything to add to this? Or?
You guys pretty much cleared up on that subject.
Yeah, I was gonna say y'all are just killing it right now.
Thank you.
All right, we'll give you some shine next one. No.
Right. All right.
We'll bring you from third string up to the starter spot.
Ouch, man.
Damn.
All right. Well,
you know what, I've done to you, man, but screw it. That should be uncensored on YouTube.
Oh man.
You know it's all up, bro.
Yep. Well, it's all love here. It's a bit chaotic out in the real world, and with all these protests and the riots and everything that's going on right now, we want to take some points that have been kind of been spread all over the internet, and kind of just give our 2 cents on each one. So I'm going to start off with this pro-Trump tweet that Jackson Ryker had put up, and I'm not even going to quote it. Basically, he was thankful of President Trump and for the freedom he's given. So, and there was somebody on Twitter who saw it and said, I'm not even surprised. And put up an old Facebook post that he had from about a year ago that basically called the Black Lives Movement garbage. And this is a quote from it. It says, "I challenge anyone of color to watch 12 Years a Slave and realize how good you actually have it." That kind of cut deep. So, and that's one of those things where I literally had to be like, "Oh no, God, why?"
I mean, if you really look at it, that tweet, let alone, you got a lot of backlash from fans, but especially some wrestlers. Sami Zayn was one of them. Kevin Owens, even his own tag team partner came out and said,
"Yeah."
I don't
Steve
even
Cutler
respect.
put out like 4 tweets that basically clarified his own opinion, which is, while he can't really change how Riker's opinion on it, but he's clarifying his own opinion. He fought in the army, or he fought he was a serviceman. And he said, this is not what I fought for. And yeah, he did get a lot of backlash from Owens, saying Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, and even Batista called him out on it. So.
Oh, what's the crazy thing? I'm not even surprised. I don't, and like, for me, Forgotten Sons, that's their main thing. They're forgotten. I don't know who the hell they are. I never paid attention to them. Didn't even know they were on SmackDown until last week. So Ryker is irrelevant to me. No offense to the other guys, but Ryker is irrelevant to me at least. But I'm not surprised from a company standpoint because WWE, I believe, when we did Blackout Tuesday, I believe they were one of the last companies to put out something for Blackout Tuesday in terms of just putting a black gold square or at least trying to make a comment saying that they don't condone racism or they don't condone injustice going on in our country.
You have a man, and let's hit the topic real quick because it does reflect around how WWE, AEW, and other wrestling companies reflect this, react to it. You got a man who was flat out murdered on a forgery charge, and we know we don't
alleged forgery.
Alleged forgery.
Not even.
We don't even gotta
forgery.
say it, but we're gonna say it anyways. That the fact that if it was the other way around, that man was not gonna be unscathed and unharmed. Okay, you have the whole world. You got all 50 states of America, and you got a good majority of the world that know this man's name, that know what the problem is with America's government. It's not its people, because its people only know from what they watch on the news and what they hear from their elected officials, and that doesn't include Trump. It includes people that work behind the scenes that have their puppet strings on both sides of the party. You got everybody now watching and seeing what's wrong with America. And this is a big problem too, because you have somebody like this who is appreciating Trump for what it is. Trump ain't even trying to put the country together. I could expect more from Bill Clinton, fucking George Bush, to have some sense of unity. Ian, if Obama was fucking here, Obama's not even president right now. And Obama took the courtesy to say something to have everybody kind of come together. It's now a point of racism. We don't want to see people hurt. We don't want to see cops hurt. But we want to see the cops and we want to see people understand now that this is a big problem. And because of what your colleagues do on the oath that they take, you are also going to face this backlash because it is your responsibility to check your other people that you work with, regardless of what color they are. What they wear that uniform. So WWE, and somebody said it best as a tweet, and I'm not exactly sure who said it, but if I was able to see, I could tell you, it's like Vince McMahon is daring me not to watch WWE. Like, I dare you not to watch this because we're just so bad. And I can guarantee you, I'm not sure if WWE said something. I know Tony Khan said something. We'll get to that in a second. But WWE, I don't really think took the audacity at the time of day to say, hey, you know what? We don't condone this. But why would you? Because Vinnie Mac is big old boys with Donnie.
Yeah.
You know, that's the problem.
And like, you know, to go off about that too, like I was upset about it. It's like the same reason why their response time was around the same amount of response time that the New York Knicks took for talking about what's going on currently in this country, where they say they have no comment, and then Dolan sends some other crap.
He sent like an email to his workers explaining this whole situation. It got leaked out.
Yeah, and it's just like, you know, that's
political too.
Yeah, and I get political standpoint for this, but if you understand what's going on in this country today and you see how this current incumbent president has divided the country way more than anyone has ever thought would happen, but in order for us to get better, we got to heal and take a couple steps back first. So my thing is, you were quick to ban Hulk Hogan for a couple of years. You still have this current president in your Hall of Fame, and you see what he's still in the Hall of Fame. He's technically still.
I honestly forgot that he was in the Hall of Fame. Honestly, yeah.
Well, that's because it means shit. So
I know that, but like the mere fact that like he's on that page, you have a picture with the entire McMahon family. Linda donating 25 million to one of his PACs. Vince in that picture. Triple H in that picture. And let's not forget Triple H promo to Booker T years ago on Raw.
Yeah.
Guys like you don't get champion.
Then you have the kids. And then you have this guy just smiling with his thumbs up. Like this company, if they don't change, or if they don't change, they're going to go under. And I'm sorry to say this, because everyone is protesting places that are not compliant, that are not like full blown with equality. Wendy's, that's currently being protested. Nobody really wants Wendy's anymore. Popeye.
I like Wendy's. Oh, come on, man. Yeah.
And going back to that picture with the McMahons, there's somebody like, it's not really relevant, but somebody brought up a point that Shane gave an expression on his face, him and his wife who were in the back. They gave an expression that they didn't want to be there. If you really look at it, Vince and Tripp were wearing red ties. He was the only one wearing the blue one. So,
well, I wouldn't be surprised.
It was like Shane, but I'm not surprised either way.
But this whole situation is wrong. But don't you remember that promo? I believe it was after WrestleMania where Vince shaved his head. He was wearing the fedora thing. He lost to Donald Trump, etc. Don't you remember what he said to John Cena when he was holding the ECW title?
You bet.
And Booker T was right there, and all they wanted Booker to do was just say his famous line, "Tell me he did not say that." Like, imagine being Booker T. And
I remember which one.
Like, imagine saying that on live television, and one of the best black wrestlers you had in the company in WCW and WWE. He was great on the mic and he was great in the ring. But imagine just being one of those people that actually fought for that before you came into the wrestling company and having your boss just say that on TV and they just want you to say your famous line.
And that's another conversation for another day, and it also reflects back to what we talked about because we know that Booker T is a really good company guy. So is he just really a genuinely good company guy, or did he bite his own tongue and hold his pride that day and just say, fuck it, if I want a job, let him say it? Which is that's just what I would love to be in Booker T's mind as that goes, because he's like, do I stand up for what's right, or do I actually think that this is okay?
The amazing thing is that one of WWE's biggest spokesperson is a black male, Titus O'Neil. He is one of WWE's, if not currently, their biggest public
that man
figure.
Could advocate for everything just because of the way that he came up. He came up a single mother who went through a treacherous time, and that's how he was born, okay? He grows up with a great family. He's an Omega Sci-Fi member. He's a Q-Dog. And just an overall family man, and he really is the type that really advocates just for, for unity. And you got a man like that, and he gets fucking suspended for grabbing Vince's arm for 90 days, and he misses a WrestleMania paycheck?
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Oh, fuck out of here.
And this is coming from the same type of people. Granted, I understand it was a joke, but when Titus did that whole slip at that stupid show and saw
slide.
Oh,
He did the slide, and they showed people in the backstage. They were not backstage, but like I guess in Gorilla, they were laughing. I understand it was funny. I understand that. Or like they were like, they were just making a joke about it to that I hope he doesn't like make it up again, or I hope he doesn't do it again and stuff like that. Like the whole 90-day thing where he got suspended because he touched Vince's arm, that's preposterous to me. That's the same.
If somebody else did it, they wouldn't get suspended. Not even one.
And
Batista
and Titus were friends. And Batista said, yo, man, I'm going to be honest with you. You should just leave. Like, you should just leave. It ain't going to get better than that.
And if everybody follows Batista on social media, if you see the stuff he posts on a daily basis, Batista's
a savage, basically.
Yeah, basically. He's always against Trump. I wonder what if Triple H ever texts him and say, you got to go low. Because don't forget, Batista got inaugurated to the...
Yeah, he's getting inducted in the Hall of Fame, so...
Yeah, but you understand that Triple H can't really say much because even if he doesn't want to play the red side, he's gotta. Because, listen, I don't know what it's like for Stephanie and him with his kids, but all I can say is that if Shane and Shane's wife don't really want to be there and they don't really care for it, then maybe Shane, Mr. and Mrs. McMahon, Shane McMahon, do got a chance to educate their kids. Yo, you got 3 young kids. You got 3 young boys. That is big for you to educate them on everything that's going on right now. And if that's got to be a political divide between the families, then so be it. Every family is going to have a political divide because it's either they don't see it or they don't understand what's going on yet. I'm like, my parents are finally getting it. And I say to my parents, like, now you understand why they've been screaming out and they've been protesting for the past 6 years? Because now enough is enough. And especially, I don't want anybody in WWE or AEW, I don't want anybody that's white to be, I'm sorry for being white. No, it's not the problem of being white. It's a problem of being ignorant and not understanding. I praise the God that I went to St. John's and I was able to be indulged in all the communities and all the cultures that are there because we understand now. And the other thing that makes me really happy is the fact that WWE didn't say anything, nor could I give a shit, and it gives me another reason not to watch them. But AEW had a good reason to stand up. They were late, but better late than never is all I could say.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
do you have a tweet from Tony?
Yeah. Well, this is actually something I wanted to applaud Tony Khan. So we had Linda Hogan tweeting this exact quote. Watching the looting, it's all Afro-Americans. Not sure how robbing and stealing set the record straight, but if they want to be heard, they need to be civilized. And Tony Khan's response, that I got to applaud him for, he responded, "You've now joined your husband in being banned from all AEW shows. Congratulations." Bravo, Tony Khan. Bravo, Tony Khan.
And also to all the people saying that it's black people who are doing the looting.
It's
not all black.
It's
just
not
the black people that are in the news.
It's the white people doing the looting, and the black people are suffering for it. But go on Instagram and go on TikTok and do not watch Fox nor CNN, because even the white liberals like to harp on that shit and like to paint an image to get everybody to watch. Don't watch all of that. Don't take a party out of your mind. Watch Instagram and watch TikTok, and I promise you there are a lot more cops that are taking kneels than there are that are fighting with the people that are protesting.
Yeah.
I think what's getting lost in translation in all this is that black people aren't, like, they're not, like, going back to what Linda said, they're not looting just because they want to loot the store and they want to be civilized. They're looting because they haven't been heard of being civilized. So when trying to be civilized and trying to be a normal person doesn't work, what do you expect them to do at that point?
It's basically
there's peaceful protests all over that you never hear about. You only hear about them if they get recorded.
It's like CM Punk. Do I have your attention now?
Yeah, exactly. So
I was gonna say,
go ahead, no.
protests like it's not. You were just mentioning it's not even black people that are really destroying. It's a lot. And don't get me wrong, but it's just like you have a lot of alt-right cults, I guess you could say, or organizations, as you want to call it, that are looking to take advantage of this because they know at the end of the day it's going to come back on people of color. And I feel like that is so wrong on so many levels. They're taking advantage of what we're trying to do to protest for what is right, and take it. So they could gain and do whatever the fuck they want to do. Excuse my language.
No, you're 100% right, man. You're 100% right. And if you look on social media nowadays, I know a lot of the some stuff is false and some stuff is right, but a lot of the stuff you see about the bricks being placed on the paveways in front of businesses, in front of corporations, a lot of that is being set so that they can think when the bricks are being thrown through buildings that it's the people of color that are doing this. These are being set up in broad daylight before these protests and riots just to accuse them of something. That's not right.
And there's also other things too, where there are people that are saying that cops are taking stuff, and like I have to put the 2 cents in. You see cops that are taking stuff, they're taking sneakers and they're taking bricks from people that are doing looting and rioting, and they're saying, "Oh, look, the cops are doing it too." I won't disagree with that. But also too, don't you think maybe they're trying to confiscate that and get that back from what the people were trying to take from the riots? Because white or black, there are people that are going to be out there, more of the white, but I wouldn't be surprised if the cops are trying to get that back, especially iPhones, because iPhones that are being stolen from the Apple stores have a message and it's locked and it says, "Please return to said location."
Yeah, I saw TikTok on that.
Yep.
There was one I don't know what state it was, but it was some Apple store on Walnut Street that they had somebody record a video of the people looting that Apple store. And then there's a message saying, your iPhone is disabled. Please return it to the Apple store on Walnut Street.
They should have added hashtag Black Lives Matter. That would have been a fucking perfect touch.
Well, enough with the negativity. I want to talk about some of the positives that have come from this. I guess, Noah was talking about WWE's Twitter statement. Yeah, it was kind of like they're one of the last companies to do it. But one thing I will say is that, at least no, I'm not even going to say it. I'm just going to skip right to AEW, because AEW actually did a better job at it than WWE did. Putting that opening clip before Dynamite, that was actually a more powerful statement than what WWE did.
When you want to talk about a company that's saying that we are diverse, that we are this and we are that, all things that sound good to make you sound inclusive, even though you might entirely be exclusive. AEW, as a wrestling fan, and disagree with me on it, boys, because I'm speaking for all of us, and you don't feel so, let me know. AEW has felt more inclusive with the wrestlers and the fan base that they've had more than WWE has, because they've said from day one that they wanted to do that. You have Sunny Kiss, you have Nyla Rose, you have Nyla Rose, Brandy Rhodes, you have Big Swole, you have oh my God, what is it? You have Kong, yes, you have a Private Party. That alone, man, like, you got that, and they're on a pedestal. And Scorpio Sky, and you got Tony Khan, who is our age, he's young. He's a millennial. He knows how the shit works. He's down with the culture. He knows how it operates. He knows exactly how to handle a situation like that, and he did. He has done more than I think WWE has done at all. And I can guarantee you, if you're going to pick between who you would rather see in a protest, I guarantee my money would be on the entire AEW roster. That Cody and Tony be like, guys, we're going. You want to go? Come. If you don't, that's fine. We ain't going to be wrong. But make sure that you take some stance in this. Have the conversation, post on social media, donate, sign petitions. I've done everything but protest, only because I'm back and forth between my home in Jersey and work. Yeah. Other than that, me personally, I'm trying to have those conversations to educate people, either be a crutch for them or to enlighten them on what's going on and have an open mind. That's all. And I'm sure Tony's doing the same thing, and I'm happy for it. I'm very happy with it. I'm so glad to be an AEW fan.
No need to disagree there.
Not at all.
Have any disagreements? They're so, it's crazy how AEW's only been around for 11 months, a little bit, and they're so much better than WWE. Like, not just talent alone, but like ideals, morals, everything else of that nature. They are above and beyond what WWE is doing and what they were for the longest while. Because again, and this is going to bring up a good point that like we can go into much deeper later at another episode. How much African American champions has there been in WWE? I'm not talking about just like the World Heavyweight Championship or the WWE Championship. I'm just talking about women holding the Women's Championship.
Oh, something we just brought up not that long ago. Bianca Belair hasn't been on TV in 3 months.
Bianca Belair has not been on. Ahmed Johnson, Ron Simmons, and The Rock have been the only one, and Kofi have been the only ones.
And Kofi,
they buried Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. They're not doing much with Bianca Belair. And Apollo's the U.S. champion, but how long are they gonna keep him as a champion, and how long is this push gonna go on for?
That's the problem.
Maybe been broken out.
Talented men and women of color that deserve pushes, and it's not just Kofi. Kofi did a fantastic job, and he deserved everything he got for him. Most importantly, but there's other women, there's other people of color that deserve those opportunities as well, that are so talented. There's a lot of WWE wrestlers now that I don't know why the hell they're getting some spotlight on them. They suck. They literally suck. But it's because of that you don't want to, take it to the next level. You have a gold mine. You're the best wrestling company in the world, quote unquote, and you have a gold mine of talent. But people want to leave because they're not happy. They're not happy. And it's just, and hopefully, I hope to God Vince hope to God Vince just notices this and takes advantage of this,
Absolutely.
And in the best way possible to increase his generational wealth, so his grandchildren and their children could also have this World Wrestling Entertainment, to which we love professional wrestling to this day. So AEW is not, or Impact or Ring of Honor or Japan Pro Wrestling aren't the only companies that we look forward to watching. Because if WWE stepped their shit up, we'd be even better in terms of pro wrestling for everything we have. WWE, in a standpoint, it's like, for me personally, not being able to see wrestlers that are so talented, like we mentioned, Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks, the Street Profits, Apollo Crews just got like we just mentioned, he just got the United States Championship, and I think that was his first championship singles win in WWE. And it happened during a pandemic.
5 years after he got called up.
Exactly. That is sad. Not on his part, but just he has talent. He may not be the best on the mic, but he is talent. He is a professional wrestler.
He's acrobatic too. I like.
Go ahead.
No, he's strong. He's acrobatic. He can do all these flips, but it just sucks that they don't get portrayed as talents that deserve those big pushes. But going back to, I'll let you finish up on your Apollo thing, but with the whole Kofi thing, if Ali didn't get injured, we would never got that push with Kofi Kingston. And that's the truth. I don't care what anybody says, but like I understand they get a big push with the tag team, but Kofi's been with this business for the last 10 years with this company. And this is like the first real push he got for a major title. Yeah, he had the championships, he had the Intercontinental, he had the United States, but those are meaningless titles in this business now. That was his first real push for a big title, and it sucks.
Also, just this just popped in my head. Kofi just became a Grand Slam too. So.
Yeah, but nobody knew that.
Exactly. That's the sad thing of it. It's that now after his reign is over, I'm just remembering that.
The thing about that too is, did they even mention that? Did they even put that on social media? Because I feel like
I don't think so.
No.
Oh.
And how did he lose his championship? He lost it in 10 seconds to Brock Lesnar.
Less than 10 seconds on the debut of Fox to Brock Lesnar. Now, I understand Brock is Brock. I understand that. But again, you built up Kofi Kingston, and Kofi should have been a main event player before this. Kofi should have been a main event player. Big E should have been a main event player. Xavier Woods should have been a main event player. If I remember correctly, I think Big E has won the NXT title. I don't believe
he did.
Yes.
He did.
I think he was a second.
He was a second NXT champion.
Second NXT champion. I don't believe he's won a singles title on the main roster.
No, he won the
Intercontinental
IC
title
champion
one time.
Excuse me.
Right before they joined the New Day.
Okay, so I stand correct on that. But my main point I wanted to bring back to is we all know Kofi is a main event player, and he showed that at WrestleMania 35. What was his position on the card, WrestleMania 36 on a pandemic? In a fucking tag team.
A triple threat singles tag team.
Yeah,
because only one person from each team was in that match.
Don't get me
Just
wrong.
stupid as hell, obviously.
It was a great match. Don't get me wrong. The talent involved, great match. Props to all of them, especially to Jimmy Uso, who's going to be out for 6 to 9 months because of that. But Kofi has not had a WWE Championship rematch since he lost it to Brock. And we've pushed him so hard. I just don't understand that. How long did it take for Mark Henry to be the world champion? He had to do a fucking retirement speech, that was actually pretty good. But he did a retirement speech to then say, I'm not leaving, and then had to feud with Randy Orton to become world champion. How long did it take for Mark to become world champion? The world's strongest man never won one singles major title in 50 days with the company?
His only championships, too, besides that world championship, are the ECW title and the WWF European title, which European title, I think, was back before the Attitude Era was over. And ECW was back in 2007.
Yeah, but that wasn't the truth. That wasn't the true ECW. That was a watered down version.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in reality, how many champions of color do we see? We could say the Street Profits, sure. But the Street Profits, they're
can't take their championship reign seriously right now.
They're
not even wrestling at this point.
They're not even doing. I understand it's a pandemic, but they're not even doing anything. We have Vince has always had a multitude of talent of color, and has he ever really pushed them?
The one he has pushed, Sasha Banks, hasn't even really been pushed. She's had 4 title reigns, sure, but they've lasted a total of 4 months.
Please don't get me into Sasha Banks. That is just a different story.
Yeah.
Because her 4 title reigns came up to 89 days. Alexa Bliss, no offense to her, has a 300-something reign.
She's got 7 reigns, 7 or 8 reigns or something like that.
Don't forget Nikki Bella.
Nikki Bella.
Oh, that was forced, and she defended the title 6 out of 12 times.
Champion of all time. AJ Lee should have had that spot and still have that spot. Which
people remember AJ's reign. They don't remember Nikki's reign.
AJ started the whole Divas revolution. The women's revolution. She did. Her Paige.
Oh no! Oh, there's no argument there. None whatsoever.
But going back to what we were saying just
Emma when she was still in NXT.
Yeah, that was
No, that first NXT Women's Championship match they had.
Yeah, just to end on this, for the people of color in terms of WWE, like my fear is like how long will it take for them to get the opportunities that they should have gotten from a long time ago? Bobby Lashley should have been a world champion. He was Impact champion. Now he's with Lana, going to face Drew McIntyre for the WWE title. We all know he's not going to win that match. Drew is a great competitor. I'm not going to lie. Drew deserves this world championship as well. But
one thing I like is they have MVP as his manager. They have a reasonable man. And never forget that time that it was MVP and Shad Gaspard that were recorded crying and proud of Kofi Kingston capturing that WWE title at WrestleMania last year.
Yeah, I cried because I really had to think of myself, and especially for y'all because y'all were there as well you watched it live. My thing is, when are we going to see another black man or another black woman in that type of atmosphere and that type of limelight that is going to get a world championship win like that?
Well, jokes aside, unless you guys...
but I'm worried about what they're going to do when he eventually gets called up.
Not to make a joke of it, but unless somebody dyes the hair blonde, then maybe they got a fucking shot because that's the way it goes in this company. But
I don't really worry about black men.
When it comes to all this, you recognize that every time that there is a black man, black woman in a storyline, it was always fucking red hot. Kofi was red hot. And for some reason, they don't think that's the way to go, for whatever reason. I don't. And, like, if you're going to make them lose on a good note. Don't give them bullshit like Brock Lesnar.
No.
Oh, he could have had a good match with Brock Lesnar. Give him 7 seconds. Let him go like 10 minutes or something like that. Hell, Brock can't go that long. Let him get 5 minutes. I'm sure Kofi can get a good match out of Brock Lesnar for 5 minutes.
They have all these opportunities to make each of their talents, especially the ones of color, look good, and they have the ability to. They just don't want to take the chance with them. I was going to say risk, but no, take the chance with them for whatever odd reason, whether it's because, they don't want to push them, or they just want to, push their own agenda. But it's just so sad to see where their standards lie when it comes to
the worst thing is just
who gets a push or not.
And the worst thing is it's not to fill a quota because we're not sitting here worried about a quota. We're sitting here worried about people of color who are actually really good, actually better than the most. And they deserve to be there, and they're not there. They're not. Big Swole in AEW, I like her a lot. I like her.
Oh, I love Big Swole.
She ain't the best right now, but she's going to be there, and I could see her as AEW Women's Champion.
I just really want to see her right now do that rivalry with Britt Baker because I still cannot get over that one promo she cut on her where Britt was like, the only person in wrestling that people care about in your house is your boyfriend, and she claps back, holding her hand up, emphasizing her ring finger. So it's like, I'm married, baby. I love that.
And when it's good, it's good.
It's
point exactly.
Okay, who's Big Swole married to again?
Cedric Alexander.
Who is another person that should be featured more, but is not? Him and Ricochet. I think we mentioned this earlier. Him and Ricochet.
Isn't it funny that Ricochet and Aleister Black were one of the two top wrestlers out of NXT, top prospects out of NXT, and we see their Mania debut, and what is it? It's a fatal four-way triple threat match for the tag team championship.
The thing was that they had their last match in NXT for the tag team championships, and then they had their debut on Raw, and then they end up in a Raw tag team championship match, and then at WrestleMania that Sunday they were in the fatal four-way for the SmackDown tag team championship. So
and you can
they were on a hot streak right there.
You can thank Vince McMahon for that because he didn't know what else to do because the product sucked.
No. You thank Triple H for the tag team, and then for their placement, sure. Let's give thanks to Vince McMahon for that. But let's face it, had Triple H not put them in a tag team, where would have they been put that week?
Now back in NXT with a better debut because, like I said, thanks to Vince McMahon, they fucked everything up between those four.
Okay, I didn't.
Ricochet?
I just heard thanks McMahon. And I was like, no.
No. That will
I was
always,
too quick on that.
McMahon will always be sarcasm because Ricochet, Aleister Black, Ciampa, and Gargano. All four of them were brought up because they had nothing else for anybody else. And they said, you know what, bring those guys up because they're fresh, they're new, we can get something done. Well, of course, Ciampa was trying to save himself until after the match with Gargano. And they fucked everything up because Ciampa ended up hurting his neck. And he had to go out. And Triple H is like, you just fucked my whole main event with NXT. Well, pal, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
It's funny you brought that up because I was at TakeOver New York, and while it was probably the greatest wrestling show I've ever been to, it's going back to what you said. Triple H had a brilliant storyline laid out over like 2 or 3 years that was going to culminate at TakeOver New York between Ciampa and Gargano for the championship. And because Vince catapulted them to the main roster to see if they could sink or swim, Ciampa ended up breaking his neck and had to get surgery. So he couldn't be in that match.
And Gargano and Black and Ricochet came up. But Gargano went back down because they needed somebody to run that. And Aleister Black and Ricochet, Ricochet you had bouncing back and forth between everybody and losing. And Aleister Black you finally let debut after 4 months. So no, they could have stayed down in NXT and been of use.
They should have.
For wasting
Come back on that. Also, their last tag match between Ricochet and Aleister Black and the War Raiders, not whatever they're called now. Like, it's crazy to see where they are now because Aleister Black isn't really being used. He kind of just started getting used coming out the closet. Ricochet's been a perpetual loser, and the War Raiders are playing everything under the sun besides wrestling, which is like you should be doing for a tag team championship.
And you could have built Ricochet up to be a really good underdog babyface and have him split with Aleister Black, who could have been a monster heel. But no,
Ricochet has Intercontinental Champion written all over him.
Absolutely.
IC champion.
Well, if the Intercontinental Championship actually meant something, then yeah.
It's not its current state. I mean, like what it used to mean.
Yeah.
Not even a Miz and Ricochet in a feud could save that. I'm sorry.
It's a damn shame. But
in conclusion.
But just to wrap this up, I want to also highlight stuff that The Rock's Instagram video on this whole matter, saying where was the leadership, and then Punk on WWE backstage basically telling white people to shut up more and listen more. You got to give them some respect too. So I applaud The Rock and CM Punk for that. And this is just a chaotic moment right now. We have to listen to each other. Or look at us right now, a very diverse group of wrestling fans taking in each other's opinions and taking in each other's experiences, and that's something I'll always be grateful for. I don't know how you guys I don't care how cheesy this sounds. I love you guys. So
it's all love here, bro. You're absolutely right. Look at us. We got Latino, we got 2 blacks, we got a European, and we got a white. Like we're all doing this together as a family, as brothers. And I wish it's probably gonna take a while for the rest of the world or even the rest of the country to get this way.
This just goes to show 2 things. First off, wrestling does not have room for politics when it comes to Democrat and Republican. You know what they have room for? Common sense. We're all here for the love of wrestling, and we don't care what you look like or what you are. Just be good at what you do and contribute to this sport, because everything you do will always be phenomenal when it comes to this. Is our getaway from reality. Now our reality, unfortunately, has to be mixed in with real life bullshit that people can't get a grip on. And there are people out there that make a career and make money off of this. And especially, I wouldn't be surprised if WWE does. And my point with WWE is that WWE has been around for just about 50 years, if not more. And why is AEW only around for a year, and they change the culture more than WWE does? Not just within the ring, but outside too. And this situation is one of those examples primarily. Closing arguments.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you guys have anything else to say before we close off.
I'm good.
No?
I just
no.
Well,
Well, all we're going to say, we're going to end this off with, we support those who are protesting Black Lives Matter. We support each and every one of you, and we hope and pray for change, not only in this country, but also in the world. And with that being said, we want to thank you guys once again for listening in with us. We've been on here for a good while now. And follow us on Instagram at Good Shit Podcast NY. Check us out. Subscribe to the channel. Until next time, I'm Oscar Cifuentes.
DSPN Sutherland.
I'm Basque Vaxino Fontos.
I'm Noah Griffith.
And Anthony Ferrara.
And we will see you guys next week. Take care.
Have a good night.